Hello everyone, I'm Yutin Tai. I'm an advisor and researcher at the Dutch Knowledge Institute, Deltares. My work is mainly focused on developing adaptation strategies in coastal and delta areas with nature-based solutions. Today, I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share with you my current research project, which is Red Coast. It is about large-scale restoration of coastal ecosystems. I will show you the Wadensee case in the Netherlands as an example. So what is the Red Coast project? As you can see that we have 9 pilot projects in coastal and delta regions in Europe, including the Wadensee, the Venice Lagoon, the Ebro Delta, the Sicily Lagoon. And then the overall goal is to improve coastal restoration practice by generating new tools and data to support decision making. In the meantime, we also need to develop financial and business plans and also engage project stakeholders by co-designing governance arrangements and policies. So what is the challenges in the Wadensee area? Over the past century, the Eemsdollet estuary has been drained to form polders, and due to regular dredging and depositing, turbidity level of the waters in the Eemsdollet has increased, and this has resulted in decreasing ecological carrying capacity and biodiversity. Furthermore, there are many agricultural lands will eventually become unusable in the next 10 years due to the sea level rise and salinization. So with all these existing and future challenges in environmental and social economic scopes, the provincial government of Groningen has developed a long-term vision in the Eemsdollet 2050 program, which is economy and ecology in balance. And following this, there are several subvisions which specifically set up the goal for 2050, for example, reducing turbidity level by extracting 1 million tons of sediment per year by 2050, strengthening nature habitats to achieve approximately 600 to 2,000 hectares along the edges. And also deal with climate change, for example, the risks from sea level rise and variations in habitats. And also there's the long-term goal to achieve the upscaling visions by integrating the policy objectives with other goals, for example, the industrial and shipping development, energy transition, the enhancement of livability and tourism. So following these visions, there are 3 main strategies defined in the policy agenda. The first strategy is about enhancing agriculture productivity by farmland raising. By doing this, it will reduce 40% of, it will contribute to 40% of sediment capture. This strategy can be divided into several measures that will take place in steps. The first one, for example, is to remove the sediment from the harbor. And by reusing this sediment as a material for farmland raising, it will achieve the near-term goal of 300 to 500 hectares of farmland raising, which will be 10 times in the long term. And when the climate change and the sea level rise has become more urgent to cause salinization in the agricultural land, new types of agriculture, for example, salt-tolerant agriculture and aquaculture, can take place. The second strategy is focused on coastal protection by sediment reuse. By doing this, it will achieve the 40% of sediment capture. Again, there are several measures that are relevant and will take place in steps. For example, the first step is to facilitate the natural deposition of sediment. And this sediment will be reused by clay ripening. So the mud will be transformed into clay, which is an important material for dike reinforcement. And then in the long term, when the dike is not sufficient to deal with climate change, then other measures, for example, new NBS measures will be used to enhance coastal protection. Then the third strategy is more focused on nature restoration by sediment capture. This will achieve 16% of sediment capture. The main measure is to create a new tidal area by making a cover in the sea dike. And by doing this, it allows more salt marsh growth and also the development of nesting islands for bird habitats. By doing this, in the near term, it will create around 300 hectares of new habitat area with a long-term goal of 600 to 2,000 new habitat area. So although all these strategies have been already planned in the policy agenda, the main challenge is that how to balance these different interests in governance. As you can see, there are quite a lot of different stakeholders involved, and they are all interested in different aspects. For example, the provincial government is responsible for reducing climate risks, for carbon capture and preventing peat oxidation. And Seaport Authority is more interested in whether the port is accessible for shipping. And water boards are responsible for flood protection and fresh water supply. Nature organizations are interested in developing salt marshes and nature restoration. And of course, there are also local farmers and inhabitants which are more concerned about their own lands being livable and to develop sustainable farming. And except for governance, there are also some challenges in financial arrangements. By comparing these three strategies, which I mentioned earlier, you can see that there's a difference in terms of financial arrangements. For example, the strategy C, which is about nature capture. Then the funding has been 100% secured with both public and private funding sources. However, for farmland raising, that there's only 10 to 20% funding that is secure. There's still a big gap of 80% of funding lacking. So by showing this, we can understand that for decision making, what kind of strategies is more preferred because of the funding source and also the governance arrangements. So this is an ongoing project, And if you are interested, you are welcome to check our project website on rescoast.eu. And I would like to also thank you for your attention, and I wish in the future to have more opportunities to have in-person discussion with you. Thank you.